have signed up and expressed an interest in coming and joining us. Really fantastic. We are recording this part of the meeting so that we can put it onto our website, and the later part we'll record, but we're going to have some really friendly, warm breakout rooms. We're not going to record those, and it will just be a chance for us to talk and share our ideas and so on and so forth. So let's start with some introductions. So I'm Maggie Rosario. I'm chair of the Psychological Professions Network in the East of England, and I will introduce you to my colleagues, Anna.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna. I am one of the senior assistant psychologists working with Maggie in the East of England PPN.
Thanks, Anna. And Lara?
Hi everyone, I'm Lara. I'm an assistant psychologist working with Anna and Maggie in the East of England PPN, and I'm also a psychological wellbeing practitioner working with a digital team.
Fantastic. We wanted to introduce you to some of our fantastic steering group who support behind the scenes, give us ideas, steer us really fantastically. So let me start by introducing Kevin. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi everyone, lovely to see you all here. Kevin Minier, expert by experience. I provide the patient and carer voice across the health and social care sector.
Thanks, Kevin. And Dan, I can see you on the screen.
Oh, hello, I'm Dan. I'm kind of a bit of a fraud here. I'm just starting my psychological journey. I've just completed a master's looking for assistant psychology positions.
You're perfect to be here. Alice, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Alice. I'm an assistant psychologist in the IUP digital team, so the same team as Lara and Anna and Maggie.
And we also have Holly and Robin. I don't know if either of you are here today.
Hi, sorry I'm here. My camera isn't working. I'm just having a few technical difficulties. So if I log out and in, don't worry, I'm just trying to fix it. But yeah, hi, I'm Holly. I know you can't see me, but I'm an assistant psychologist. I work at Addenbrooke's Hospital in the neuropsychology department.
Thank you, Holly. That's really great. I'm sorry you're having some technical difficulties. Robin or Emma or Rebecca, you're also part of our steering group. If you're here, do feel free to come and introduce yourself. Sounds like possibly not here yet. Okay, fantastic. So let me share my screen now, and please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. If you're one of the guests here today, please do. Okay, so we've done our introductions. We've introduced our steering group. So moving on to our agenda. So we're going to cover our ground rules and the meeting format briefly. Anna's going to do that for us. We're going to recap a little bit on the meeting that we had just before Christmas and just remind anybody of that. We've got some videos that we want to share with you, and then we're going to have some breakout rooms to think together about evidence-based practice and about research and the role of research in evidence-based practice and the psychological professions. And then there'll be a chance for just to reflect and feedback, and then we'll summarise and think about the next steps. So that's what the next hour looks like for us. Anna, did you want to talk us through the ground rules?
Yes, sure. So some of these you may be very familiar with from other events, but I'll go through them anyway. So everybody's microphone is on mute, but please just raise your hand using the little raise hand symbol on Teams. If you want to say something, you're really more than welcome to. We encourage interactivity. We want this to be a safe space where people feel like they can share what they'd like to share, so we really encourage that. With that in mind, we would really like it if you can remember this is a confidential space and we can be respectful of everyone's opinions, even if they are different from each other's. So we try and keep it as non-judgmental as possible. And of course, there is no pressure to share things that you're not comfortable to share with. So don't feel under any pressure to share something that you don't want to. And that obviously includes in the breakout rooms as well. And with this community of practice, we want it to be super supportive and to be a space that you feel like you can come to and share ideas and get some, just share what's going on for you all and some tips going forward.
Thank you, Anna. That's super duper. Okay, so we just want to remind you about what the PPN is, the Psychological Professions Network. So we're commissioned and funded by Health Education England to provide a joined up voice for the psychological professions and to help Health Education England implement the Psychological Professions Workforce Plan. And this workforce plan details the growth in the psychological professions up to 2024. If you haven't had a look at it, do go and have a look at it. It's a really helpful document in thinking about how we want to develop and transform our workforce and how the different psychological professions can develop. So what is the PPN? We're a membership network for all of the psychological professionals and other stakeholders involved in psychological healthcare within the NHS. As we said, we're commissioned to provide a joined up voice in workforce planning and development and to support excellence in practice. We inform, enable and influence NHS commissioned healthcare so that the public can really benefit from the psychological professions. To achieve this, we engage and connect all of the psychological professionals so that we can have a strong voice together. We advise policymakers, workforce planners and commissioners, and we support the safe and effective expansion of existing and new psychological professions. We have a vision. This vision was created with experts by experience, people who use services, with carers, with professionals, with professional bodies. We all came together to think about what our vision is for the psychological professions. And we want to transform lives and communities by extending and embedding psychological knowledge and practice across the whole of health and care. Here you can see some links to these documents, and I would really recommend that you go and have a look at our website. If you're not a member of the PPN, do join up. It's completely free, it's really easy to join and it's well worth it. So what do we do in the East of England PPN? We've been promoting regional collaboration, so really trying to encourage people to come together and work together to make the most of opportunities, to solve problems, to support each other and to connect up. We've been establishing communities of practice like this one, the Aspiring Psychological Professionals. We try to create really clear pathways into the profession so that people can find their way into and navigate the different options they have available to them. We've been facilitating national initiatives, so looking at what's happening nationally and bringing it down to a regional level. We support local innovation and we connect and contribute to national strategy. So we make sure that information comes from the ground back up nationally. So, recapping on our meeting just before Christmas. We showed a set of slides which introduced pathways into the different professions. We have turned this into a narrated PowerPoint, which you can watch on YouTube. So if you want to know more about the range of options available to you all across the psychological professions and how to find your way into a career, do watch our PowerPoint. It will be really helpful for you. So thinking about our main topic for today, evidence-based practice and research. All of the psychological professions that fall within the PPN umbrella deliver evidence-based practice. That is, there is good evidence that the treatments we offer are effective. So what is evidence-based practice? I think this is a really good definition. The conscientious and judicious use of current best evidence in conjunction with clinical expertise and patient values, so important, to guide healthcare decisions. So best evidence includes, and this is where evidence comes from. You can take it from randomized controlled trials, from other scientific methods like descriptive and qualitative research, and we'll be talking about that in our breakout rooms. Using information from case reports and scientific principles and expert opinion. So all of that comes together to form evidence-based practice. And we want to show you a couple of videos that we think are really informative and will really kind of pique your curiosity and interest and hopefully stimulate the discussions in the rooms. So I'm going to hand over to, I think, probably Lara, who's a good person to show these.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen and I'll play the video. So the first video is about the Cochrane Mental Health Research Partnership with the Mental Health Foundation. And the partnership is helping to produce evidence that is relevant to people with everyday lived experience of common mental health disorders. And then the second video, this shows a Cochrane consumer talking about how Cochrane evidence was used to help make decisions about treating OCD. And as Maggie said, then this will lead us into our discussion around what we need to consider when we're presented with a research paper. So just bear with me a moment and I will get the two videos playing. Can everybody see the screen?
Yes.
The video? Yeah. Okay.
This partnership is very important for us at the Mental Health Foundation because it gives us the opportunity to capitalize on holding and identifying the best available evidence and translating them into policy practice that essentially means better prevention, better mental health for everyone.
The main thing that I really hope we can achieve as a group is getting that research information to the people that need it so that they can make informed decisions about what health choices they want to make.
Together to get the knowledge, the best evidence out there, working at scale and pace with people who need it. And today I think it's about getting service users, patients, people right at the heart of that from end to end. So they can be involved in the research questions that we start asking, they can be involved in the research itself, and they can really help get it translated in ways that work and be the recipients and beneficiaries of that research.
I was really quite interested to find out more about this partnership, and I think it's really quite exciting that you're bringing people from the communities and communities having more of a say in what research that we focus on.
So I'm here to learn more about the partnership and what's proposed. NIHR has started doing a lot more work with charities, so it will be interesting to see then what the opportunities might be to work in partnership. I'm also interested in a personal capacity. I'm a counsellor, so sort of research in this area I'm very passionate about for informing my own personal practice. So there's lots of different angles that I'm interested in.
Work like what's going on today is really important because there needs to be a focus on getting things right for people and finding solutions for the inequalities that they face and how to prevent those from coming about in the first place. So being able to understand why people have a different experience of the mental health system, why people are more vulnerable if they're from a black minority ethnic background.
Okay, I'll move on to the second one. Can you see this second one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is there a way to make it full screen, Lara? Is that too complicated?
Yeah, I can. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a real personal interest in mental health research. I've benefited from it myself. When I had OCD, I was looking for something I could trust. I read a lot around my condition and there was just so much rubbish online and some of it was quite frightening and misleading. And so I knew that if I looked at Cochrane reviews, I would find something that was evidence-based and I would know how good the evidence was because it would be measured, and I would know that it had been fairly recent and that it would have been updated. And I found some interesting evidence about what worked in OCD. And I have to say now, when I look back on that, how I think I was very lucky. I was lucky that I knew about Cochrane. I was lucky that I had access to the internet. I was lucky that I was able to read a Cochrane review because they're quite complicated. And then I was really fortunate in that I had a good GP who was interested in Cochrane, and with him I experienced for the first time what it's like to be involved in shared decision making. And he was brilliant, and he used the Cochrane evidence in a proper EBM way, put me in the driving seat, you know, shared all the data with me, and that was a brilliant experience. But I could have missed all those things so easily if I'd been a more vulnerable person, if I'd been a seldom reached kind of person, if I hadn't had access to the internet, if I didn't have those reading skills. So whilst I've been really fortunate, I think there's an important case for trying to extend this much more widely and making it much more accessible to people. And I hope this partnership will be promoting that and make that happen.
Thank you, Lara. That's really helpful. I think it just shows just how valuable shared decision making is and how great it is when it's done properly, and how involving people in their own care is so important. So where are we now? Let me just share my screen again. So breakout rooms. We're going to think together in just small groups with no pressure, but just sharing our thoughts on when you're presented with a research paper, what do you need to consider? And this idea came from previous aspiring psychological professions meetings that we've had, where we asked people, what do you want to spend time thinking about? And one of the things that came up was reviewing research, talking about research, thinking about research. So that's why we've brought this whole topic to you today to think about.